All right, how are we doing? We are live. There was slight technical difficulties, so we are. God, that fucking eyebrow. It's the only time of day I notice that goddamn eyebrow. But welcome, welcome, welcome. It is Drag the Lake Live. I'm one of your hosts, Andy Malafrina. We will be chilling today with me, myself, and I. I'm a little bit fucking out of it, so I didn't even go. I didn't even drink that hard or nothing like that. Well, I did have 6 beers last night, but that's also not crazy. That's also not. It is probably why though I'm a little like fucking worse for wear. Dunbar, Dumbeezy, first in the chat, first of his name. Dunbar, first of his name, first in the chat. Maybe it is why I'm a little bit just a smidge groggy. Maybe. Check, check, check. How we doing on the mic? Mic sounds good. Yeah, maybe that is why I'm just a fucking cunt hair groggy. Because I did wake up a little bit. I mean, you know what it is? I fell off the wagon a little bit. Fell off the wagon. It's what happens to the red man. Unfortunately, 6 beers can do that. Yeah, that's the problem. That's the thing I got to remember is like it's still even because like my barometer is like, well, I didn't get hammered. I didn't get hammered. Um, and it's like, well, no, no, no. You could still get wobbled by 6 beers. You could still get wobbled and you could still be affected with the day to day by 6 beers. Also I've been the caffeine has been a little bit of an uptick. There's been an uptick on the caffeination situation. So sometimes when I wake up in the morning, it needs just a slight oomph and slight boost to get back in the mix. Do we have 7 on the fucking Twitch already? Have I been live for 2 minutes and there's already 7 of you guys? That's so fucking awesome. Yes, twitch.tv. I changed it to Andy Malafrina. So basically everything is at Andy Malafrina. Kind of the era. Well, Big Red will always be in our hearts. We all know this. Ooh, look at that. Derek with the resubscribe, 2 months at tier 1. Subscribe for 9 months. Derek, the man. What is good? What is good? But yeah, Big Red in the morning will always be what it is spiritually, when it's the solo Big Red. But you guys know this is the era of consolidation and we're consolidating it down. So I thought basically my pods now are Drag the Lake and Panties in the Mouth. You guys know Panties in the Mouth, one of the best comedy the best. What am I saying? One of the best. Scratch that. Started over. The best comedy podcast in the fucking world. And then we have fucking Drag the Lake daily talk show. Me, sometimes Pat. I don't know if Pat's going to join us today. I think he's busy. Pat's been a busy son of a gun. But anyway, it's me, sometimes Pat, every day, 10 a.m. Texas time, 11 a.m. if you're on the East Coast. And I apologize to my West Coast people. You guys are going to have to get up at 9 a.m. to watch this. I apologize. But for my schedule and how I like to do things, 10 a.m. is the best time forever for me to do this. So, yeah, man. But every day, every day, every day and every day. Every day we're going to be here. You could be on the Drag the Lake YouTube channel, or you could be on Andy Malafarina's Twitch account. I think it's for the best doing it like that. We have all the social media is uniformed, and then we have the Drag the Lake page, and then we have the fucking Panties in the Mouth page. It's a good fucking day. Did you drink because the Birds lost? No. Thankfully I'm not as emotionally attached to the football, to the games like that. St. Ivan, how you doing, brother? Yes, sir. In the mix. You guys know what it is every day over here. I just realized the lighting's a little bit off because I didn't actually turn on the light in my room. It always looks a smidge better when I turn on the lighting in my room. Damn, I gotta tell you guys, 5 minutes in, 8 viewers across the board. That's some good stuff. I appreciate that a lot. We can build this shit up. We can build this shit up, and it can be a good thing. And guys, just I will remind everybody to, if you're watching on YouTube, do me a favor. Well, sorry. I am, like I said before, today, especially too if Pat doesn't come in here, because if Pat comes in here, I'm fucking giving that motherfucker the fucking ball today. But yeah, there's the I just put the link in the chat, by the way. If you're on the YouTube, or if you're not, if you're on the YouTube, do me a huge favor, hit the thumbs up. Hit the thumbs up on the YouTube. Subscribe if you haven't already. And if you're on the Twitch, please open up the YouTube video, hit the thumbs up there. It helps the algorithm. I'm embarrassed to ask you to do these things, but it helps, and I need everything I can get. I need all the help I can fucking get. So yeah, please consider that. Oh, and also too, there's been, you know what? I should also make an announcement. We've been posting shit ton of clips. Lots of clips, lots of fucking clips. This is a terrible episode to start if you're a new viewer. I am acknowledging that. But if you made it to 6 minutes, 6.5 minutes in, if you're a new viewer, I appreciate you. But yeah, lots of clips, music clips, Foxtrot, I Promise the World, Lamb of God. Actually, Lamb of God, solid legal team. I had to take out the entire song, so you only have my thoughts on that, and then Converge, and then a lot of discussion videos. I asked people, what are you eating for Thanksgiving? Me and Pat talk about Lawrence Pugh's Party Trick. It'll get you hard. I was talking about weapons, Dasha and Nick Fuentes, all the fun stuff. So let me grab you the last discussion video. So this is the last thing I'll beg for, then we can get into the actual meat of the stream. Another video, I comment down there. If you guys can help my cute ass out, click on that link, like the video, fucking maybe comment for engage. Nah, you know what? Don't worry about it. Engage. Just click the video, click the like button, let it play in the background. Let's get the juices flowing. Let's get the juices flowing. We need to do the Big Red World Domination Tour. You guys get it, okay? Okay. Anyway, let's yap. What's on everyone's mind? I got some comments over here. Oh, also, if you're in the future, if you're on the iTunes, or the Spotify's, thank you so much. Just remember, youtube.com/@dragthelake732. You can hang out with us here every morning, 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, and then twitch.tv/Andy Malfrino. All right, enough yapping. Touch me. You truly like subcrime video. Perfect message. Bedroom single. EU single. Gentle dandy. Danielle love my husband. Exactly. Marry my Daniel like pasta. My husband forever. Throughout. That's what I'm saying. Cell rat still riding his dick. Whose dick? My dick? No. Oh, I got called very hot by a gay guy this weekend, still riding high on that shit. Well, you know what? You earned the joke. That is nice, though. Because gay guys, traditionally, huge sex sluts. Huge sexually perverted sluts. So when a gay guy comes up to you and he goes, nice ass, toots, you may not want to partake in that. It's on par with a black guy telling you got nice shoes. Let's be real. I hate being a corny white boy. I hate being the corny white boy that just secretly, desperately, you know what I mean? You see a lot of these corny white boys, they don't know how to act. And they kind of, and it's kind of a weird thing because sometimes in the process of seeking the appreciation of black people, you're also now fetishizing them in a negative way, and it's a little. I've seen it growing up in the suburbs where white people, they treat black people like Pokemon, and they get excited. I choose you, Jamal. You know what I mean? They get fucking excited, and they don't know how to act right. But I gotta be honest. if you are wearing it, if you're a white boy and you're in the public and you're just trolling around and a black guy lets you know he likes your shoes, that's a good feeling. They like shoes. So they are about shoes. So when they tell, gotta catch, good comment, Dunbar. Gotta catch them all. Jamal. Systemic racism. Um, Big Red. How about the ginger bear? I don't know what that means. I did. You know what? I did. I've talked about this before, but my friend Jason Simpson, he my friend Jason Simpson, he hung out at he worked at a gay bar for a really long time, and he would so I see Pat saw the link. I don't know if Pat's able to. He's always moving and shaking, Pat George, moving and shaking, and that's just because he's coughing. You know what I mean? A lot of times he'll cough and he'll just shake a little bit. But also on top of that, he's a busy man. He's moving and shaking, so I don't always know when Pat's able to hop in the mix. But either way, because I know we have the podcast today. We have the podcast today. Panties in the Mouth. We're recording today. Nate's back in the mix. It's a big fucking deal. Let me get my coffee pad. It's not turning on. Did I unplug it? Back in there. Get back in there. All right. Well, my coffee pad is not plugging in. So I guess I'll just drink this coffee medium warm. But anyway, no, you were asking, did I have those 6 beers because of my the Eagles losing? No, I had 6 beers because it was time to have 6 beers. It was time to have 6 beers. I've been as you guys know, I've been working at the valet stand, parking cars. Big Red's been working hard. He's been trying to watch his weight and truthfully, Big Red fell off. Big Red fell off a little bit. He's got to get back on the horse. He fell off the horse. He was doing good. He was because honestly, haven't been a big fan of my overall body in a while. What do we got? We got an update from Pat. Wasn't planning on joining, but I should probably try to catch up on some work this morning, brother. I got to get some stuff going before I head out to no problem whatsoever. No problem, brother. No problem, brother. Do your damn thing. See ya at 1. There we go. All right. So Pat has some things to tend to. No problem whatsoever. Sometimes wait, what are we saying here? Sometimes it is just time for 6 to 13 beers. Yeah. Nah, because it's been coming. It's been coming the past couple days because I was good, dude. I was good. And then my problem is I always yo-yo, I always ping pong, and I was good. So because I was good, I was fucking around a little too much. You know what I'm saying? I was fucking around a little too much. That's whenever I'm doing good on my diet, I go and I cheat on my wife. No. Actually, we should put out a goddamn link. Maybe we post about it on YouTube. Maybe we post about it. Not on YouTube. What am I saying? What am I goddamn saying? Maybe post it on Twitter. Let the people fucking know. We are live. Drag the Lake 732 on YouTube. Andy Malafarina on Twitch. Good shit. Good shit. Oh, I should say this, by the way. Actually, now that I'm looking through my tweets and stuff like that. Now that I'm looking through my tweets and letting you guys know what the fuck is good. Letting you guys know what the fuck is up. Updated my Big Red Roundup. Shout out Cellrat for giving me the name of that. I got to be honest. I didn't have a name. I didn't have a name, so I went with that name, and I go back and forth. I don't know if I love it, but just having the name Big Red's new music playlist, I don't like that either. So until further notice, we're going with Cell Rat's name, the Big Red Roundup. It's the Big Red Roundup, because it's the only one that works at the moment. But yeah, I updated the list. You can go to Spotify. I'll actually send you guys. There we go. Copy link address. You guys can go to Spotify. You can go to Spotify and click on that link. And I got a new music playlist. I have not been updating it as frequently, but I go in bursts now. So like when I was like really fucking, because like it's like I'm on top of it, but rather than updating it multiple times a week, every like week or two, you just get a big dump of songs, which is honestly how a lot of them work in general. So yeah, but yeah, new music playlist over there. A lot of really good fucking stuff. The this band Pulses, they're sort of like a smaller dance Gavin dance type band from New Jersey, I think. Lamb of God, if you're into heavy music, you know Lamb of God. I didn't listen to much Lamb of God until honestly ever. And then I know one of the listeners was telling me about Lamb of God. One of the listeners was telling me about Lamb of God, and I thought that was pretty fucking cool when they were telling me to check it out. Um, oh baby, the red man has me getting. Oh yeah, Saint Culp gets in the chat, says some horny ass shit. This red man has me getting so big. Oh God, who? Hell yeah, dude. Hell yeah, dude. Come for daddy. Um, but no, I hadn't listened to Lamb of God really like ever. I hadn't listened to Lamb of God almost like fucking ever. And then someone in the chat was telling me, they're like, nah, dude, you gotta check out Lamb of God. They're solid, like, they're solid metalcore band. And I was like, all right, that's kind of sick. So I was checking them out. I was like, whatever about him. Then this song came out, Parasocial Christ, and I was like, this rips pretty fucking hard. So threw it on the list. ASAP Ferg almost never misses. ASAP Ferg almost never misses. Merci Les Senders. Gross and Font Mort. They're like I don't know how I found them. I think they're French. You guys know me, not a big fan of the French. But yeah, they had this shit that goes fucking crazy. Chris Patrick and Marco Plus. Marco Plus is like a fucking Griselda type beats ass rapper, and he's aggressive as shit, and I fucking love it. And then Converge is back with new music. So love is not enough. You were asking Vals. Slav would never come back, but this is Vals. Would you post the link into would you post the link in your YouTube community page? Oh, over on for Drag the Lake? Yeah, of course. I should utilize that more often. I forget because there's fucking 50 million social media things to do and to utilize and whatever the fuck. So, but yeah, let me do that. Wait, YouTube community? How do I post that? Well, I know I can just like make a post, right? Create a post. Oh, here we go. Can I add a link? Oh, interesting. Oh, this is neat. I like this. This is kind of cool. This is kind of sick. So I can just throw that over here. Okay. Updated my new music playlist. There we go. All right, there you go. Okay, cool. Yeah, I don't think to utilize these things like that, but I guess you can do that. So all right, let me guys, I got to level with you. I got to level with you. Big Red's got a he's got a big brown back there. So let me tend to that. Let me tend to that real quick. And here. because I woke up late and I was not ready for how the coffee was going to hit me. So bear with me real quick. All right, I'm gonna throw this on. I'll be right back, boys. I apologize. I apologize. Big Red. The Big Red's meeting Big Brown. I'm gonna be right back. Check, check, check. All right, we are back. Sorry about that. This has not been the most exciting start to a Drag the Lake live. I apologize, boys. But yeah, no, actually, you know what kept me up real late last night? I was watching that Outdoor Boys channel. You know what? Because like I've been really into. It's funny. I've been really into like my conspiracy stuff, which I've been trying to figure out another word for it that's not cringe as fuck. Cause I don't like I don't know. It's like not even trying to be like a but like it's this thing of like, oh, you and your conspiracy, which here's the thing. Technically speaking, the term conspiracies isn't even like that offensive because it is accurate where it's like a conspiracy is just basically a group of people conspiring, you know, to do a thing and then be like, nah, that didn't actually happen that way. You know what I mean? Like if you're trying to, if a group of like in what was the Reservoir Dogs, a bunch of those dudes are getting together to like rob a bank, you know what I mean? And it's like that's a conspiracy, you know what I mean? Like, wait, what's the literal definition? Conspiracy. What's the literal definition of conspiracy? A secret plan by a group to do something unlawful or harmful. So yeah, like if you guys get to like literally if weed isn't legal in your state and you're all like, all right, we're gonna meet at this time and then I'm gonna buy the weed. I don't know why I'm saying it that way. It could be totally normal. Like it could be like totally fucking normal. You guys just be like, all right, I'm gonna get the weed and then we're gonna meet up at Tommy's and we're all going to go smoke weed in the backyard. Like, and if you're planning that, you're literally a part of a conspiracy. So the word isn't even technically, the word's pretty accurate. You know what I mean? But it's just the connotation. So it's like the connotation that comes with it. It's like what pops into everybody's head when you just said it's kind of funny because I was just listening. Tucker Carlson had this dude on his pod. I've been listening to Tucker's pod a bunch lately. Tucker's been absolutely crushing it lately. But Tucker's been absolutely crushing it lately. I gotta give him credit for that. But yeah, he had this dude on about chemtrails. And Tucker's like, what blah blah blah. What's up with these fucking chemtrails? And the dude was like, well, first off, we don't call them chemtrails. I mean, he wasn't being shitty to Tucker, but he was like, so my tone was wrong there. But he was like, yeah, we don't call them chemtrails because everyone just has such negative connotations with chemtrails that we call them like what it is. You know, the like he calls it by their government name. So that's kind of, and I'm like, oh, I get that. And it's like, that's kind of similar to my thought process because the term, it's the same reason why, like, I would put, like, sort of politically and philosophically, I'd probably consider myself like an anarchist, anarcho-capitalist. But I hate the term anarchy because it has such a fucking loaded context to it. And yeah, so it's the same thing with like conspiracy theories. And I was trying to think of other ones, but they're all like just as cringe. Because I was thinking of the term disputed history, because that's really what it is. Like most conspiracies are like, I think it happened this way. The mainstream thought or the government mainstream thought is like, I think it happened this way. And then a lot of people like me are like, I think it happened this way. And then the government's like, and it's just that. That's what. So it's like, to me, the term almost should be like highly disputed history or something like that. I don't know. But even that to me comes off cringe as fuck. Being like, I am a highly disputed historian. You're like, ugh. So I don't even know what the fucking term is, but I've been on my highly disputed history tip lately. And yeah, I was watching some stuff last night, and then I popped on YouTube because I was watching these 9/11 documentaries on fucking Amazon. And it's like every have you talked to Metzger about conspiracies? That dude loves them. I would love to. I don't know. I don't really like know Metzger. So I haven't, if I got to know Metzger, I'd fucking bring him on here every week, but I don't like know Metzger. So I mean, you guys could I mean, don't harass him, but if a tweet if a tweet happens to get his way telling him to, talk to Big Red, I wouldn't be mad about it. But what was I talking about? Yeah, no, I've been a big 9/11 guy over here. Big 9/11 guy. I like them all. 9/11, OKC. I love all the hits. But oh no, that's right. Again, Tucker Carlson. This is why a lot of people like dispute Tucker. And I think Dave made a great sorry, I got an update from Audible. I was like, do I have a new credit? So I have a new credit. Tucker's in. Oh yeah, his pouch is literally my only big complaint about Tucker has always been his shit with Zyn, because he would like go on TV, like he would go on podcasts and he'd be like, Zyn's a natural aphrodisiac. He's like, it makes your dick hard as shit. And it's just like, no, it doesn't do that, Tucker. It's nicotine. It's a thing that people do. Like, Zins are a thing that people do who, if they never smoke cigarettes and they want to feel a little bit silly while they drink, they take Zins. Or you take a Zin and go, I wish I was smoking a cigarette. That's what Zins are for. They don't make your dick hard, Tucker. Yeah. It's not, as Culp was saying, it's not nicotine. But yeah, so he said that, and then Zin, because also at the time, I think Tucker Carlson was a little bit more, toxic for these companies. I mean, I guess he still is, depending on the company. But yeah, and then Zin made a statement where they're like, Zins don't make your dick hard. And then I think they were kind of a little bit like distancing themselves from Tucker Carlson. And then Tucker Carlson got mad, and then he came out and he was like, Zins actually make you gay. They actually turn your dick inside out. And you're like, oh, I thought they made it hard, Tucker. I thought they made it hard, Tucker Carlson. Oh, I thought they made him hard, Tucker. That's how he would say it. And then it's like, no, actually, if you take one Zin, your dick splits open and turns into the loosest pussy you've ever seen. So that's like, that was my only ever thing. But other than that, the dude's fucking awesome. You know what I mean? Like, he just put out, dude, the fucking 9/11 podcast he just put out. Like, he did the series, and then the one lady, yeah, dude, this is what got me back into giving a fuck about 9/11. This lady on, who was in his 9/11 documentary. He had this lady on, and they were talking, please go check this podcast out. They were talking heavy 9/11 stuff, because her husband died in 9/11, and she was like, I'm gonna get answers, and she fucking, I don't know, like cracked the case or something. So she cracked the case and whatever the fuck. She was saying some wild shit on there. But yeah, it got me excited to fucking talk about. It got me fucking excited to like look into 9/11 again and things like that. So I came back last night. I had a crazy week. I go, you earned six Coors Lights, and between you and me, I also earned a Polar Pop full of Sprite Zero. I've been on clear sodas lately, and it's been changing my life, honestly, dude. And no shade on, obviously, I'm not going to tell people to stop drinking their Diet Dr. Peppers and their, Diet Cokes and all that other shit. But I'm telling you, dude, clear sodas, or, in the case of ginger ale, slightly tinted sodas. But realistically, clear sodas are where it's at right now. I think it's, if you're like me and you're really trying to focus on your gut health, clear sodas are where it's at. But yeah, I'll do you one better. Imagine equating October 7th to 9/11. Dude, imagine, do you remember they were trying to do that with January 6th? They were trying to be like, January 6th. Did you know that a couple Americans just cause like breaking a few windows and causing a ruckus around the Capitol is exactly like 9/11. Do you guys know that's exactly the same? Oh, 7-Up Shirley Temple. Dude, I gotta be honest. I've been dipping my toe back into 7-Up. I don't know, man. It's made me build this whole conspiracy around Pepsi because it's like I don't know why. It's like Pepsi can't get their shit. If it's not here, wait. What are the Pepsi sodas? What are the Pepsi sodas? Wait, god damn it. Pepsi brand sodas. Give me a list. Give me a list of all their sodas. All right, here we go. It's just like I was thinking about it too, because I was drinking 7-Up. I was drinking 7-Up recently, and I was thinking about Pepsi sodas, and I go like, dude, I think Pepsi's just been like, we got Mountain Dew, and okay, yeah, they got Mountain Dew, and Dr. Pepper, and I think outside of that, they just stopped giving a shit, man. You know what I mean? Because I had a 7-Up. Like, dude, if you go bar for bar, Pepsi versus Coke, it's crazy like every Pepsi I've ever drank tastes a little flat. What the fuck is Squirt even? Like, you don't catch me outside with that. I will say there is something about a Sunkiss that does go crazy, but yeah, even with with something about Pepsi, it just feels like they're like, yeah, we got Mountain Dew. We got Mountain Dew, we got Dr. Pepper. We don't really got to try on anything else. But like the Coca-Cola soda products, I mean, yeah, dude, from like top to bottom, like it's kind of nuts. Like Barks Root Beer, hard. Wait, they also have Dr. Pepper? What the hell's going on? Wait a minute. Why did the Coke one show Dr. Pepper? Or why did the Pepsi one? Why did Pepsi show Dr. Pepper? Are they lying to me? Who's lying to me right now? Oh, they're mixing and matching. Wait a minute. Okay. We got to get the truth. I got to go right to the source. Let me go to their website. Damn, you can order soda off of Amazon. That's kind of fun. Pepsi. Let's go to the fucking source. We were just talking about 9/11 and I took a fucking beeline. I'll get back to it though. This is a whole this you guys know this pod. It's a rushing nesting doll of what's going on in my head. And a lot of stuff that's so funny. It asked me, it was like checking out the cookies and they're like, do you consent to cookies? I go, calm the fuck down. Here we go. View products. I gotta be honest though. I respect the hell out of their design. Like, look at that shit. The caffeine free, which who's even getting that? But the caffeine free. Oh, and I will say a sleeper hit that no one acknowledges enough is the wild cherry. Well, I mean, I don't really want to do the and cream part of this, but wild cherry Pepsi is an absolute fucking dominant force that not enough people want to talk. Oh, here we go. Okay. Oh, this is all the Pepsi. This is all the Pepsi products. View products. Are we doing that right now? You guys just sell Pepsi? Oh, I want like the whole thing. God damn it. All right. These are not serious people. This is why they're floundering. This is why they're floundering in their business. This is why they're floundering in their fucking business. I need here we go. List of PepsiCo sodas. There we go. Here we go. Thank you, summerstirs.com. Sodas under Pepsi, full list here. Here we go. This is terrible. This is absolutely terrible. I mean, what are you guys doing to me right now? Is this it? No, this isn't it. All right, I'm gonna bail on this whole soda situation, but this whole soda conversation because it's not getting us anywhere. But I can't wait. What is this? I keep suggesting the Panty Boys do a field trip to the Dr. Pepper Museum in Waco after visiting the Branch Davidians. What do you mean you keep? You've never brought that up to me once. It's so funny. You make statements that you just know are not true. Pepsi Blue should have been a permanent return. They're blue. There is something about their blue that does fucking get you in a certain type of way. But yeah, no, I've been a big clear soda guy. And but my problem is I got to remember to, like, when it comes to certain things, you got to shop for your taste, not for the price. And I was getting got cuz all the Pepsi prod, I was getting myself a couple 2 liters, which, you know what? Now that I'm thinking about Pepsi does have some hits. They do have some hits cuz like I said, Wild Cherry Pepsi is one of the most underappreciated sodas. It's not even just that it's better than cherry Coke. It butt fucks cherry Coke. Like Wild Cherry Pepsi butt fucks cherry Coke. So Wild Cherry Pepsi, Mountain Dew, and then Canada Dry. Because I gotta be honest, I go Canada Dry over anything else. It's the fucking bee's knees. It does its job. But I was trying to go cheap, so I was hitting 2 liters, I was trying to hit some 2 liters, not some cans. Because there's something about it. They're like, ooh, if we organize this into cans, shit's like 3 times the price. List. Here, let me ask Grok. Can you give me a list of all Pepsi sodas? Excuse me. Perfect. No. Okay, here we go. There. Okay. Perfect. Damn, there's a lot of Pepsi ones specifically, actually. This is actually kind of crazy. There's a lot of Pepsi ones specifically. Because if you go core Pepsi sodas, Pepsi Zero Sugar, formerly Pepsi Max. Pepsi Max, I don't think Pepsi Max, Pepsi Max. I think, oh yeah, it's called Pepsi Zero Sugar. I remember for the longest time, I thought it had like more caffeine. I don't know if it had more caffeine. Ingredients comparison. Yeah, it had like, I remember I would crush because in high school I was a big. I got the Wikipedia up right here. In high school, I was a big fucking energy drink guy. I remember I would drink coffee a little bit in the morning in high school, but then I discovered any energy drinks, and I was a big, big energy drink guy. And then, all right, so I remember when Pepsi Max came out. Wait, wasn't it more? Didn't it have more caffeine? I feel like it. Wait, now I have to ask Grok because this is getting crazy. Did Pepsi Max have more caffeine when it debuted? Yes, but okay, all right. Well, see, even there, original Max from '93 had 43 milligrams. Dude, you know what's so funny? Because there's something that happens. There's something that happens in your pea brain, like mine, where it's like in the morning, this isn't a soda. This isn't a soda. It has lots of caffeine. It's a morning beverage. So I would just throw back Pepsi Maxes sometimes in the morning, being like, oh, no, this is for breakfast because there's caffeine in it. If there's high caffeine, it means it's a breakfast drink. And then I just realized I was just throwing down and I'm like, it wasn't even that crazy. Because I think how much caffeine is in Mountain Dew? Because I think a Mountain Dew is like 80 milligrams, right? For a 12 ounce, 50 milligrams. Mountain Dew, Game Fuel. Okay, those are the energy drinks. Anyway, yeah. So I was like cracking me up. I was like, oh, with the Pepsi Maxes, I wasn't even getting like more fucking caffeine in them or anything like that. And so that shit was making me laugh. But yeah, it did feel like a fun time. It did feel like a fun time with the Pepsi Maxes. I got to be honest on that one. But yeah, Core Pepsis was Pepsi, Pepsi Zero Sugar, Diet Pepsi. This, I got to be honest with, like, the Pepsi Zero Sugars and the Diet Pepsis are like how Coke does it, where there's Diet Coke and Coke Zero. And funny enough, there's like a difference, even though, like, philosophically they're the same thing. I remember, dude, like, Coke Zero tastes like fucking ass to me now, but like a Diet Coke's the nectar of the gods. I don't know what the fuck's going on. I swear to God, Coke Zero was made to sell more Diet Coke. I don't know, but like that's a thing, by the way, that I don't know. Like I feel this is my conspiracy brain, because it's like, because you know what my problem is, I can't just accept things are stupid because they are. So I just go like, well, no, you can't be that stupid as a big corporation. Maybe it's like me holding on for hope for society. Maybe that's my naivete. I'm looking for Pepsi Mex. Well, down here in Texas, there's a lot of you can find a lot of Mexican Cokes. I don't know how many Mexican Pepsis there are, but no, it's just like there's this thing. I'm trying to remember what I was thinking about in context too. But there's like this thing you have with a lot of things in society where you're like, it's like this is blatantly stupid and blatantly retarded, but it's your job to walk around like it's not that crazy. And there's something to the fact of just the fact that we just let Coke, Diet Coke and Coke Zero exist in our society is this like, it's kind of like the people who get way too deep into sports and like make it their whole thing, where it's like there is an aspect of it. And you guys know me. I always love to make it clear. I'm never shitting on sports. Love a good sport. Oh, when I see a sport, I watch. No, for real though. Like, I'm not shitting on people who need a fucking, they use it to fucking turn their brain off for 4 hours and hang the fuck out and things like that. But I'm saying is like when you get deep into the aspects of like what makes you a real sports fan, it is a practice in insanity, because it is kind of retarded, and then when you're watching, we've all done it. You're watching the game, and clearly the play made sense, but it was against your team, so you're spazzing about it, or vice versa. Clearly, your player didn't follow the rules, but they didn't catch it, so the fuck, it's like, it's that's the problem. That's my problem with, like, it's the same thing with like being like evangelical with religion, like hardcore with religion, where you take it 1,000%. It's like the same thing with sports. You're training yourself to participate in life in a retarded way. And I think there's something about having our society infested with Pepsi and Coke Zero. It's just training us to be stupid, because there's no real use for it. Because doesn't Pepsi Zero Sugar, I'm pretty sure, let me look it up, Diet Pepsi nutrition facts. Spelled Pepsi wrong, and I combine those. Yeah. I don't know if we were all shocked to find this out. Diet Pepsi also has 0 grams of sugar. So, like, one of my favorite things to say, I go, what are we doing here, man? What are we doing here, man? But yeah. And then we got Pepsi Light, which is Diet Pepsi Lemon, which is nice. Pepsi Lime, Pepsi Mango, Wild Cherry, Vanilla, Nitro, nitrogen infused. I remember Lemaire was big on that. He was saying it was going to sweep the nation. It didn't end up sweeping the nation, but, he had fun with it, which I'm happy for him. I'm happy. I'm happy he's happy. Pepsi Splash, Lime, Berry. Ooh, that sounds nice. And then we got the caffeine-free Pepsis, caffeine-free Diet Pepsis. I used to be an absolute nasty fucker to anyone participating in the caffeine-free scene. But now that I've embraced clear sodas, I've realized, that I was abusing a drug and I'm an addict. I'm gonna scan my butt and fax it to PepsiCo. That'll show them. That will show them. Thank you, brother. Thank you, St. Culp. You're a good friend. But yeah, they got some throwback stuff. But then they got the Mountain Dews. They got fucking 5,000 Mountain Dews. We don't have to go deep into this, but I do want to give a shout out to. No, where is it? Which one was the purple Mountain Dew? What? Mountain Dew Legend? Buffalo Wing Mountain Dew? Well, that's crazy. Purple Fun. No. Overdrive. What was the purple Mountain Dew? Purple Mountain Dew. There was a purple one. It's saying purple. No, I did not drink Purple Thunder. No, Pitch Black, right? Yeah. Damn, they had zero sugar Pitch Blacks. Yeah, that's right. Pitch Black. Midnight? Was there one called Midnight as well? No, I'm pretty sure it was Pitch Black. Purple Thunder. Damn. Whoever is making the Mountain Dew flavors is a goddamn wizard. Wait, I know they made a energy drink version of it. Mountain Dew energy drinks. They made an energy drink flavor. Was it these? No, it wasn't these ones. Where was it? There was one Mountain Dew energy drink. Yeah, this guy. This one. Okay, so it was Pitch Black. Yeah, dude, Mountain Dew was crazy. They had like multiple energy drinks. Like it was crazy. It's crazy how many different energy drinks Mountain Dew has because they have Amp, I think. Was that them? I think it was Amp, and then they had Kickstart, and then it was like Energy. And then they had one where it was like Gamer Fuel, which I tried, which was it's like the sugariest thing in the fucking world. Yeah, it was actually kind of nuts how many different energy drinks Mountain Dew had. But yeah, Mountain Dew's the haymaker of all haymakers. They got other Mug. I'm gonna keep it real. I haven't had Mug in a while, so I don't really know what's good with Mug. But my default was always a Barks. I always liked a Barks root beer. That was always what I was a huge fan of back in the day, is a Barks. But yeah, Mug is respectable. Orange Crush is good. I fuck with a good Crush. Dr. Pepper always rips. Schweppes, I'm a Canada Dry guy. I don't know what these are. Manzani, 7-Up. And so this 7-Up, and it's kind of funny. I've actually tried multiple iterations of 7-Up in the past couple days. I've had the fountain version. I've had the 16-ounce bottle, and I've had the 2-liter. And all of them, I made this joke on Twitter, twitter.com, /Andy Malfrina, if you're not familiar. I made this joke on twitter.com. I said 7-Up tastes like Pepsi forgot they sold it. Because it just feels... Pepsi tastes like a kid left at the water park. Pepsi tastes like a kid that was supposed to get picked up from the soccer game 2 hours ago. It's like they forgot they had it. Sierra Mist. So I remember Sierra Mist ripping, and then I've had the Starry version of it. And I don't know. I think that OnlyFans slut stole more than the name. I think she stole the secret recipe. It's not good. Bubbly Bounced. I don't remember that one. That's really funny. Discontinued or very these are the very rare Pepsi products. So yeah. Pepsi sodas, they got some. I got to be honest. I got to be honest. If you're a soda company and you have Mountain Dew under your belt, do you really spend too much time making sure your lemon lime is that good? Or do you spend too much time making sure your orange? Because here's the reality: orange soda is never going to be your main seller of any company. So if you have Mountain Dew in the mix, you know what I mean? Are you really making sure your root beer and your orange soda is up to snuff? Like, I get it. I don't agree with it, but I get it. Yeah, there's too many Coca-Colas to count. So yeah, we'll just the original zero sugar diet again, Coke Zero and diet living in the same universe. It's just a it's just an abstract universe we accept of upside down reality. Sprite, like this is why I think, while like I think Pepsi is like Kobe and Shaq in their prime. And you guys know I'm not a big basketball guy like that. So, I mean, the rest of the Lakers could have fucking ripped with Kobe and Shaq. But it's like, to me, Pepsi is like Kobe and Shaq, and everyone else on the team sucks ass. And then, like, Coca-Cola, well, here's the question. Is it a really good squad, or is it like just full of Jordans? Because I got to be honest, like Coke and Diet Coke, that's like Jordan LeBron level. I mean, Sprite, that's also like a LeBron Jordan level. Fanta, hard. Like, this might be the dream team, dude. Barks Root Beer, hard. Mr. Pibb. All right. Yeah, that's the thing. Like, I got to be honest. The Mr. Pibb Mellow Yellow fall off is a little bit nuts. That's where it falls off hard. That's where it falls off hard. Wait, are these their only main ones? Who has Fresca? Anyway, so that's the Soda Wars. Hard fucking right turn on the Soda Wars conversation. Because what other podcast are you going to have a 9/11 and soda deep dive on? I guess we didn't go that deep on 9/11, but no, that's why I was talking about what I was doing last night. Is I was like, I've been like just enjoying myself more whenever I go into the conspiracy stuff. So I like got back. I had my 6 beers. I was gonna do a 9/11 deep dive, and I was watching all these docs, and I was like, I don't know why people are so afraid to like I was on Amazon looking up a bunch of these documentaries and stuff. I was watching all these documentaries on Netflix, or like not even just, but like going through them, and it's weird. It's like JFK. This is what makes me think Israel's behind 9/11, but isn't behind JFK. Because it's like JFK, you can just go fucking nuts, and they'll just have all that shit. Like, what's the dude's name? He did JFK. Why am I spacing on his name? He made the JFK movie. Roger Stone, or no, Roger Stone, Oliver Stone. Yeah, Roger Stone's the super duper straight political guy. Oliver Stone. You can do that kind of shit and go fucking nuts. And I feel like in a lot of the JFK documentaries, you can go fucking nuts. And it's just like, yeah, dude, throw them up. We've been making these since fucking 63. Because that's a big thing, too. I remember listening to this one podcast. They were talking about it. People think like it happened with Roswell. When Roswell happened, it wasn't until way later. It wasn't until like way later that people started to go like, I think something fucking weird happened over there. You guys know what I'm saying? I think some fucking weird shit happened over there at Roswell. And then, so that was like Roswell happens in like the 40s. And then it wasn't until like the 70s anyone really I think there were books on it pre-1970s, but it wasn't until the 70s that anyone was pretty like hard, like, they mainstreamed any thought of like something weird happened over there. And honestly, it wasn't until the 90s till it like sort of got in the popular culture. It was like day 2 that people were fucking putting out conspiracy books about JFK. So like it'd been okay. It'd been normal. It'd been normal to talk about Johnny like that. There's still something with like 9/11 where it's like, I'm not saying it's gotten to a point where if you have half a brain, you're like, okay, it feels like they let that happen. Like, and it's like, it's one of those things where if you just kind of give them benefit of the doubt, and ironically, benefit of the doubt is like, is letting them be the most retarded people in the world. And then it gets like, because that's my thing with some of these where you're like, dude, it gets to a point where it's like, it feels less, it's like after there's a certain amount of mistakes and there's a certain amount of certain types of mistakes that you're like, I just can't accept you guys are this fucking stupid. Like, so now watch this. It's so funny, Colt. It's one of the funniest videos ever. Now watch this drive. It's so good. I gotta just because you mentioned it. Again, apologies. This one kind of sucks ass. I am like very out of it. I did not get a good night's sleep.
I call upon all nations. We must stop the terror. I call upon all nations to do everything they can to stop these terrorist killers. Thank you. Now watch this drive.
Yeah, I mean it's probably gonna go down as one of the most accidentally hilarious things ever. But yeah, so the point I'm trying to get at is like to me it feels like you can't go. To me, it feels like there's this feeling that you can't go full retard about 9/11 and feel like you're safe. Like it's this weird thing. And again, it goes back to what I was saying too, where we kind of like, we figure out how to like walk and chew gum at the same time, but in a really bad way, where everyone's just kind of like, it's this thing where it's like the compartmentalizing is crazy because something happened where it was just accepted by people who did a bunch of research and by people who've done very little research, but it's just been culturally accepted that, the government killed JFK. The CIA, it's just been culturally accepted that the CIA did it or they got the mob to do it. That's just what it is. It's just what it is. And then like, but there's this thing where it's still, but you could still have, it's almost like if you found out, one of your roommates, murdered a lady and you guys still just like hang out and poke fun at them and you're like, yeah, but you murder ladies. And you're like, shouldn't we throw that guy in jail? You know what I mean? It's like this whole thing with the CIA where it's like, they like murdered the president in the 60s. It's like, shouldn't we not have them? You know what I mean? Aren't they like all around? But I think that's, I think unfortunately living in living in America, I feel like is very similar to like just having Stockholm syndrome with certain things. Cause it's like, I think people over the years, they get so indoctrinated in it has to be like this, A, B, and C. I think that's like a big split. There's people like me who I look at certain things and I go, wow, well that's never worked or never, that's never worked or never functioned well. And, only causes bad things, and people, but then there's just a slew of people go like, but we obviously have to keep that. I go, do we? You know what I mean? Again, going back to the roommate situation. It's just like every day if you woke up and you're just like, oh, the toilet's full of a full roll of toilet paper that no one flushed or did anything about, and oh, there's water all over the bathroom floor. And then it gets to a point where it's like, but I mean, we can't just get rid of Tony or whatever. What was the name I said earlier? Let's just give it Tony. It's like we can't just get rid of Tony. He has to be. And you're like, well, no, he seems to be the problem. You know what I mean? It's just this weird thing. It's like and then I experience this a lot of times when I argue with people. It's like the type of like cope that they have, or the type of like the way that they like defend the government with all these things. Because I just feel like that's why I feel like I'm in bizarre. It's like I feel like I'm in bizarro land with a lot of this shit. Because I go, it always surprises me. It always surprises me how people bend over backwards to defend the government. It's like every time it's time for an election, everyone's really good at identifying what's wrong with it. But it's like, it's when me with my libertarian brain, when I do it, it's like, well, no, you're being a dick. It's like, I can't express it properly because I don't know if you've ever, because here's my thing. I'm not a guy who just like goes out of my way to argue with people, but I will get a fucking stick in my ass about certain things. And I go, I'm not one to just like relent on an issue, especially if someone's hitting me with like a bad argument. Like, perfect example. I got in an argument with this dude the other night we were talking about like companies throwing out all their food at the end of the night. What is it? I just looked down and it says, I'd help you bury a hooker, Andy. Thanks, Derek. I appreciate that. If Lemaire killed a trans hooker, would you snitch? Well, I didn't snitch about the first 3 he killed, so why would I still snitch? That's actually a really funny joke. Go out of your way. Aren't you in everyone's way? It's a solid. Slav, I gotta give it to you. That's a solid fat joke. You're a solid dig your heels in kind of guy. Well, it's like I'm not like if I'm at the creek in the cave or just hanging out with friends or wherever, I'm not like going out of my way to look for an argument. But like, actually, Creek in the Cave was a good example too. I remember one time where we were playing that game Munchkins. And I remember, the dude I play with, Dave. I love Dave to death. He's such a good friend. He's very thoughtful, and he pretends to be this like grumpy, angry fuck, but he's actually a very nice, thoughtful person. But so I'm saying that so I can shit on him. But no, I genuinely mean it. But we'll be playing that Munchkins game, and he just turns into an absolute cunt demon. Dude, like, there's been like 2 or 3 times where I'm very, very very obviously making a joke. And then, but like, if he takes that joke literally, he can use that in the game to fuck me over. And it's like this thing where it's like, hey man, you're not this stupid. So you're just willing to like passionately lie to my face about this just so you can have a slight advantage in this moment. And there's been times where we'll be playing the game and, because this happened one time where he was doing the same thing. And I was like, well, no, you're clearly lying. So just say you're lying. Da, 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 da. And then he like wouldn't give in. And then people were just being like, Andy, you're holding up the game. I go, I'm not holding up the game. I'm the only one over here telling the truth. Dave's the one holding up the game. It'd be like some shit. Or I think it was Lemaire one time too. Yeah, Lemaire was yelling at me, you're holding up the game. But I'm like, no. I'm like, you're asking me to give in. You're asking me to lie right now. And I can't lie right now. And it's like Cell Rat was saying, I won't, like, I'm not digging my heels in just to be a problem, but there's certain, because that's the thing. My problem is like, my big moments are very big. And like, they miss the hundreds of thousands of times that I'm like super go with the flow. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, I feel like I never get credit for those. You know what I mean? Because there's a lot of like a lot of people I interact with are they're like gray area terrorists to me. Like they do shit that's like, well, that's really annoying, but like on paper it's not that big of a deal, but after the 7,000th time they do stuff like that, but like, it's that thing where it's easily sort of like, oh, you're going to be a fucking annoying about this, but it's like, no, it's gotten to a point where it is like an insane thing that you still do this. It's like stuff like that. But yeah, no, I'll like if there is an injustice set foot upon me, I will dig my heels in. But that's politics in a nutshell. That's yeah. I feel like I'm going back and forth. No, because you know what it is? I just get really annoyed. I just get really annoyed because it's like people will get mad at me when I do stuff like that, and I go, you're bullshitting me right now. You're literally causing this. Like, obviously, like, sure, I'll give it. Like, here's my thing. I'll give it to you that a normal person would have let this go by now. But basically, what you're telling me is you're like, hey, man, normally I get so annoying that people just give in at this point. Why are you not giving in? I go, because the way you behave is a problem. And someone should tell you that you suck ass, dude. Like, I'm like, because I justify it in my head because I go, like, I'm actually helping you right now. You've been a burden to everyone you've ever loved. I'm the first guy to let you know that you're a burden. And if you just stop doing this, people will stop quietly resenting you. Because like you're doing this thing that like makes people fucking insane, but it's not like a big thing. So if they bring it up, it's easy for you to talk your way out of it and not accept. It's like, if you just accept, you know what I mean? Like, if you just accept you kind of suck ass sometimes, that's my favorite one. Sorry, I'm on a whole thing now. That's my favorite one. Dude, if you can't, like, if someone comes up to you and goes, hey man, you were being really annoying, or hey man, you really hurt my feelings. If someone comes up to you and says that, and your immediate response is, if your immediate response isn't, oh shit, wait, what did I do? Oh, my fault, dude. What did I do? Because the idea that like any of us maneuver in this world and you don't just like annoy or piss off people for valid reasons, it's the cost of doing business. It doesn't make you a bad person. But if someone came up to me and was like, yo, Andy, you really pissed us off the other day, I wouldn't immediately go, well, that doesn't sound like me. That doesn't sound like me. I'd go, well, what happened? I'm not gonna immediately accept it, but I'm gonna go, what happened? So yeah. Anyway. No, the going back to the government thing, and it's a thing I like think about a lot, because it's like, it's a thing I think about a lot, because I'm like, maybe I don't know, maybe I just know way more, or I just have or it's just like my different perspective or what, but like, but like, okay, like, let me give you the example. It's the way people will blindly defend the government as an obvious necessity. I find interesting. I'm always, it's like, you could hit them with, hey, you could hit them with, like how many people we fucking murder all the time on wars that when you end them, Al Qaeda takes over it takes over immediately and all this other stuff. But it is always like, nah, like we have to go do that. We have to go do that. No, we had to. It's like that's the price you have to pay. You know what I mean? Or but it's weird. It's weird. Like people don't want to accept. Like we just don't have to do certain bad things. There's not. It's like they try to trick you into thinking it's like overly complex, and it's like no, you just don't have to murder. You know what I mean? You don't have to just bomb innocent people in other countries indiscriminately, constantly. You know what I'm saying? But no, like you know what it is? I think a big pillar of people's psyche is that the government's there to look out for you. And if you just kind of go like, no, there's no one there looking out for you. And that's not like a bad thing. It's just like reality. And it's just like, because that's the thing I try to promote with a lot of this stuff is it's like, no, you got it way more than you think you got it. That's kind of more where I'm coming from with a lot of this stuff. People always think it's like, well, if we didn't have the cops in the government that don't fucking do anything and just, the cops, how they fucking, you know, if someone were to break in your house, they'll show up 45 minutes later to tell you that you weren't allowed to shoot the fucking perpetrator the way you shot them. You know what I mean? Like, if we don't have the police, who's gonna take all the info about who died at this thing they weren't at to fucking prevent? You know what I mean? Or it's like, if we don't have the cops, who's gonna hide behind fucking street signs to give us fucking parking tickets or to give us fucking, you know what I'm saying? Obviously, cops do stuff. I'm not trying to shit on cops, but no, there's this fucking thing where it's like, most people go through their life like not needing a cop or a government. Like most people go through most of their day not directly needing anything from a government employee. And there's this thing of like, how could we figure this out? And it's like, just believe in yourself a little bit. Believe in yourself a little bit, man. You know what I mean? Like the government's just full of people. You think if you take away this fucking entity, you can't like fucking like everyone's just gonna go like, well, we don't know what to do. And it's like, well, everyone's gonna get violent. Well, okay. Now there's no cops telling you can't have the guns you want. You know what? It's just, you know what it is? It's like we've been propagandized by like the movies and stuff. And there are, it's like people take them. There's certain ones where they take too fucking literally. I don't know. Is this any of this sound useful or good or fucking? It's just like, I was talking to this dude the other night, and I forget how the topic got brought up, but like, I forget how the topic got brought up, but we were talking about food safety rules, and we're talking about the videos where people throw a shit ton of food out at the end of the night, and it was that kind of thing where, and I've learned this over the years, where if you're ever looking at a corporation doing something and you go, and your sort of conclusion goes to like, well, they just did that because they're being mean, and I'm saying that in kind of a intentionally funny way, but like if you see a corporation do something, a corporation that needs to make money, and they do something that's just like oh, they just do it, and then your sort of your conclusion to that is like, well, they did that just to be evil. They did that just to hurt people. And it's like, no, that's the problem a lot of people have with that kind of shit, is they don't understand it properly. They don't understand that it's like, no, it's the evilness is a result of their actions to like maximize profits. That's really what it is. They're just trying to like maximize profits, and then evil shit occurs because of that. And then if no one's holding them accountable, they don't care that it's happening, so they just let it happen. So this whole like, oh, corporations just throw out their food at the end of the night, just because they're meanies. That doesn't, it's like, why would they not try to do something to maximize profits or get some good PR out of it. And like I was arguing with this dude, and he got to the point where he was literally saying, he's like, his two main arguments were like, they don't want, well, they make them throw it out because they don't want employees reselling any of that stuff. And it's like, well, that's like illegal, technically. Like that, like you can't do that anyway. You know what I mean? Like no employee would want you to intentionally, like, even if they were, letting them have the fucking food at the end of the night, or they were taking the food, giving it to homeless people. No company wants you to, on your own, take some of their product that you didn't pay for and then go resell it. So like, because he was like, I remember he was making the argument like they were gonna save some and put it to the side, and I go, you can't do that anyway. Like you're already describing a thing that like you can't do regardless of like whether they let you save the food or not. At the end of the night, they don't let you do that. Also, I've worked a bunch of food jobs, and I know a bunch of people work food jobs. A lot of companies just let you take shit home at the end of the day. Like they just do. And I'm like, I can't believe that a company like Dunkin' Donuts just wants to throw out a garbage bag, like multiple garbage bags worth of shit at the end of the night just cuz. You know what I'm saying? And then like his other argument, what was the other one? Fuck, what was the other one? Oh yeah. So his other argument was, well, he doesn't want to deal with cancel culture and bad PR. And I go, they're already getting bad PR because they're throwing so much shit out. So you're saying this hypothetical person that I honestly don't think exists in any meaningful way. The random guy who, what? Sees that like, oh, would you look at that? They're letting their employees keep some of the food, and then they take some of that food and give it to the homeless. I'm sure that guy technically exists, but does he or she exist in any meaningful way? No. But anyway, but like, and he even acknowledged that that guy probably doesn't exist. But the company thinks that that guy exists. So that's why they don't give it to people, or they don't sell it or any. And it's like, it's this thing where it's like, and admittedly, I didn't look it up. But just for the sake of arguments, it's like, okay, either there's a rule that, because like my assumption is, it like, because you notice that's a problem. They'll throw out this ready-made food all the time. My assumption is, because of like the ready-made food had been sitting out for a certain amount of time, they're not allowed to resell it at a certain point, or they're not allowed to give it to someone else because of food safety rules. And fuck, I'm losing my train of thought. Yeah, they're not trying, so they have to toss it. You know what I mean? Just because it's like it didn't meet food safety rules or whatever the fuck. So they have to toss it because, and that was a funny thing too, where it was like, because that's the other thing too, when you're making these arguments with people, I've noticed this all the time. When you're trying to argue with people like this, or on these topics, when you're trying to argue with people on these topics and they disagree with you, I've noticed it so many times, and I say this from a guy who's, I legitimately, like, I know I got a dash of the tism. The way I just don't understand normal society, I know I have a dash of the tism. Or they're all retarded and I'm the only fucking sane one. Who knows? Probably not the second one. But like, everyone always gets severely autistic, and they only are able to think in very binary ways. And because he goes like, and I go like, yeah, no, they probably have rules that make them throw it out. And he's like, no, he's like, you only have to throw out things. He's like, you only have to throw out things when it, if they are out for too long, under a certain temperature, or blah, 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 blah. And I go, Yeah, that's the same thing. You're describing, Derek, you know what's funny? This dude is not a boomer. This is the most shocking part is he's like 12, 13 years younger than me. That was the craziest part. Not even a fucking boomer. But it was like, it's like, yeah, dude, they don't make rules. That's the thing. It's like, you got to realize, like, sometimes you might just be arguing with a very retarded framework. Because it's like, yeah, they don't make a rule that just says throw it all out at the end of the night. They make a rule that results in you throwing it out. They make a rule that on its face looks nice, and then it results in you throwing it all out at the end of the night. So that one was very funny to me. The food is poison anyway. They should toss it. Well, I don't know. Maybe. See, and that's even the other thing that happens is a lot of people, like, and I'm not trying to shit on you, Cell Rap, but it's an understandable response. You just like throw your hands up. You know what I mean? I unfortunately, want to dig again, fucking get in the mix and really fucking figure out the argument. But like, I guess my whole and it's this. I've been thinking about it ever since I got into this argument with this dude, where I'm like, it's so fucking interesting. And it's like, I'll even give government benefit of the doubt, which they don't deserve, but just for the sake of argument, I'll give them benefit of the doubt. It's like, it's so interesting when it's like, it's so interesting when it's like, okay, column A, government made a rule, and now because of it, you like, because like, oh, the food has to meet A, B, and C requirements. And, they're a business that their whole business is like, oh, we have fresh made food every day. And it's like, it's kind of interesting where it's like on one side of the argument, it's like, yeah, government made this rule that that businesses just have to like throw their food out at the end of the night because like that, it's simple logic would be like, yes, businesses, because that's the other thing they have to do. They have to be like these very greedy corporations. Oh, they're all so fucking greedy and evil. They won't let employees just take food home and they won't give it to homeless people. They're so evil and all they care about is money. That's why at the end of the night, they just throw out product and lose a bunch of money on it every day. And you're like, well, that makes no fucking sense. You know what I mean? And again, technically speaking, I didn't look up what the rule was. Like, technically speaking, I didn't look up what the fucking rule was. But like, so my version of it is that there was like some government rule, government, the incredibly wasteful entity, the incredibly wasteful and inefficient entity, they made a rule that, just resulted in businesses having to be very wasteful, or, just the head of Dunkin' Donuts is just very afraid of this hypothetical person that will not affect his bottom line whatsoever. You know what I mean? It's like, why are you putting yourself through those acrobatics? You know what I mean? It's like, and that's where I will take a little bit of the responsibility, and I do have to learn to not come off so shitty because I get frustrated because it's just like, I've seen it 1,000 times, man. I've seen it 1,000 times. They can't give out the old food because someone will sue them. Someone will even get sick on purpose so that can sue them. Yeah, and that's another reason. It's like, it's too easy to just, it's too, like, that's another part of it. Because of rules and because of the government, it's too fucking easy to just sue people like that over some bullshit. And it's like, I don't know, man. We just don't have common sense because everything's constructed to keep the fucking most, like, not everything, but like a lot of stuff is constructed to like keep the most retarded person in society safe. You know what I mean? And it's like, And I was like, I'm down to keep vulnerable people safe, but if you're just a fucking dumbass, like, I don't know, man. I don't know, man. It all pisses me off. But like, what was the other thing I was gonna say? It's just, but I will take some responsibility on the matter because like I will take a little bit of responsibility on the matter because like I've been in these conversations before. Bring back national selection, yes. I've been in these conversations and debates, and not that I'm sitting here being like, I'm so fucking smart, but like when you've had these arguments before, you get hit with the same dumb arguments every single fucking time. You get hit with the same dumb fucking arguments every single fucking time. And then people talk to you like you're a fuck. It's like, and then on top of that, people talk to you like you're a fucking retard and shit like that. And then it's just like, I can't help myself, man. Cause like, I'm just a dude. I'm just a fucking dude who used to work in warehouses and stuff like that. I'm just a fucking dude at your job with you. I'm not this like Oxford debater, distinguished debutante that keeps us cool when the whole world's retarded. So I'm bad at that. And I'm trying to get better at that. And it's like, I do get that when, and I get a little shitty and I get a little condescending and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Because I'm like, how dare this retard talk to me like this? I get a little condescending. But it is fascinating, man. Because I've been on the other side of that where it's like you don't want to give in because you're like, well, fuck you. You're being a cunt and I don't want to give you this. So I've been there. So that's why it's like, I try to, because I was getting a little shitty with the dude, and that's on me. That's on me. You know what I mean? But it is still fascinating to me, like the dog shit arguments people are going to give out. The absolute dog shit arguments. Just so they don't have to say, like, oh, yeah, the government sucks and we might not need them to do that. I don't know. I always find it very interesting and very fascinating. But it also gets exhausting, too, though. Like, I got to be honest. I've spent a lot of my life being the bigger person, literally and figuratively. I said that before any of you guys got to it. But for real, I'm not going to lie, man. It's fucking exhausting sometimes being the more mature person every fucking time. Not every fucking time. Let's be real. Not every fucking time. But it is, it does in certain scenarios. Well, it's just tough, man. It's tough because, like, I was talking to my wife about this. I got to remember, too, when I'm arguing for the things I'm arguing, I'm the odd man out in a lot of scenarios, at least, especially, too, at least in my friend group and the people I hang out with. And that's not me shitting on them. I love them all deeply and I enjoy hanging out with them all the time. I just think certain people in my friend group have, bad philosophical outlook, but we all do to a degree. You know what I mean? So, and that's not why I'm friends with them. You know what I'm saying? But no, it is. So it's also too just like being in comedy and shit like that. You get what was I trying to say? Yeah. Cell Rat's kind of getting at it. I think not being part of mainstream culture is part of it. They spout the same stupid talking points being presented to them on TV and social media. That's kind of getting to like what I was trying to get at before I got sidetracked. But that's part of it too, where it's like, like I remember I was talking to when I was talking to this dude, he was making me feel crazy because I was like, I'm not like, I know I'm not a fucking expert on this shit, but you're making such horrendously bad arguments. But then and then I was talking to my wife about it, and it's like me and my wife are on the same wavelength with this shit. So it's like my wife's kind of sitting there, go like, yeah, that's obviously retarded. That's obviously retarded. That's obviously retarded. You know what I mean? Shit like that. But then I got to remember, like, I'm a dude who I get excited to read a book about, like this book right here, breaking down Timothy McVeigh. And I'm not saying this to be like, oh, I'm so cool and out there and stuff, but yeah, I don't subscribe to sort of the like traditional sort of perspective on life and reality and stuff like that. And this dude is, not a bad guy. I'm not shitting on him, Just makes bad arguments. He's like a type of guy who's like locked into the mainstream and shit like that. And there's way more people with like perceived status and value backing up the things he says versus backing up the thing. This is why I go, people don't understand that being informed is going to do way more, because it's like, if the public consensus, whether whatever laws are in play or any of that, you could have anything you want. If the public consensus lines up with how I think, it's like it's still gonna lean more in that direction than anything else. You know what I mean? Because if you have a bunch of people that think the way I think, especially when it comes down to like the cops and stuff, they'll be like, "Hey, enforce this law," and they'll be like, "No, that's crazy. No," you know what I mean? Like, so that's why I remember for the longest time I was like, being informed is fucking stupid. And then I realized, I go, no, being informed is actually the thing. Because if everyone was locked in on specific vibes, it doesn't matter what fucking laws you enforce, or it doesn't matter, because that's the thing now. The government and stuff does illegal shit. They do illegal shit, and they do shit that the people don't want all the fucking time. But the general vibe on their validity is locked in. So like, that's more so of why that stuff is like people let it happen, is because the things they're doing are still seen as, there's still this like validity to it. It's similar to like every fucking year. I see it with like the music communities I involve myself in on the internet. The Grammys come around every single fucking year. Grammys don't get it. They're out of touch. Can you believe that? Yes. They're not good at picking good music. Why are we still paying attention and caring? Don't get me wrong. It'll probably happen this year. I'll fucking I love to make fun of the Grammys, because I like to do my part to help people realize that nothing they say is valid or matters. But it's that thing where it's like, why this thing that always lets you down and never does anything right. Every year you're like, but if they, it's like, if they're constantly making retarded decisions, stop looking for their validation. That's, what I mean, that's, and I sort of look at it with a lot of these institutions that we have. You know what I mean? I think it's like people are sold this fairy tale reality, and that fairy tale reality just so happens to lock in with all these bad institutions in our country. You know what I mean? And it's like people are just, it feels like that mainstream reality everyone's given. It's like, it's like everyone has these glory days of a relationship in their head, and everyone's just trying to, and you're like, you don't understand. Everyone's just trying to like get it to that. You're like, I know it's bad now, but it's like, it's why people go like, if we just get the right people in office. It's like, you're just trying to get to that. The problem is, it's like, functionally speaking, it's not able to get to that, so that's why, people have their conversations and they keep going and they keep trying to put it, but they like, the problem is, it's like, well, you won't get rid of, it's just it's trying to fix an old car that just won't run properly. There's no magic formula that makes this thing run properly and to your benefit. It's just not gonna. So you can do all the little stuff you want. It's all just gonna go back to what it's meant to be. That's kind of the point I'm trying to get across with a lot of this stuff. It's like, with the way like the government functions and all these government entities function like that, they're not meant to like benefit you. They're meant to, that's how they're sold, but they're meant to like, basically, they're a cancer. They suck the life out of you and benefit, the host and the connected people and shit like that. It's basically, government's basically a wealth extraction device. They find hardworking people. They through fake, it's literally the mob. through fake legitimacy. Well, the mob honestly is more respectable because they're just straightforward. Like, we're going to do this or we'll fuck you up. The government needs, because they realize for like long-term success, it's actually better to trick people into thinking you're legitimate, and they're there to extract the wealth and then do stuff to make you think. They're there to extract your wealth, and then they do enough to make you think that they're valid. But it's your job to realize that they're not fucking valid, and they're just there to leech off of you. You know what I mean? And it's like, what I'm trying to say is, it's like that one episode of Futurama where they had the or no, it was not Futurama. I think they did this in Futurama, but I think I'm thinking of Rick and Morty. It's like an episode of Rick and Morty where they kept having I don't know, these little aliens sucking on the side of their head. And the whole time they'd be like, but then they'd take it off. They'd be back to normal and they'd be able to function fine. That's kind of like what I'm trying to do with the shit I talk about. When I'm talking about this kind of stuff, I'm like, yo, just take the thing off your head and you'll be able to function fine. It's like, believe in yourself. Yeah, and I'll go back to yeah, Derek kind of had. I'm gonna end on this one because Derek was kind of hitting with this, and I got to get out of here and go record panties. People don't want to be responsible for their decisions and the things they support. The government lets them offload all the guilt for the things they support, and you mentioning it makes them uncomfortable and breaks their worldview. Being comfortable is all people really care about, especially boomers. Yeah, but they don't and it's fair, but I guess they don't realize that it's like that comfort comes at a cost, and you only can be so comfortable for so long. And so, because that's the thing, it's like that's what we're realizing now is like offloading the decision making and all that other stuff you were saying about. It creates comfort for a while, but then it comes back to bite you in the ass because it's like you think they're the fucking referee or they're looking out for us when in actuality they're just like, no, we're just trying. It's just a Ponzi scheme. You know what I mean? Like, we're trying to make you feel good until this shit goes bust. And normally I feel good when I bust, but this is a bad bust. This is a bad bust. Gotta go to work. Peace out. Peace out, Derek. All right, I have to go too. This is a great time to wrap it up. Yeah, man. This is really fun. This was a fun one. It started off kind of shitty, admittedly, but I think it ended pretty fun. All right. I love you guys. Have a good one. See you tomorrow. Oh, tomorrow I got a really good interview with my boy Austin Wade Picard. We're going to talk about Columbine. So definitely, I think we're going to start a little late tomorrow because Austin's West Coast. And so he always likes starting early. So 10 a.m. his time, which is noon my time. And I don't want to just be on here for because I end up talking to him for a really long time. So I don't want to just sit here for 2 hours to then sit here for 3 more hours. Because I want to do, I'm just saying, it's like, I think I'm just going to wait till noon my time to start the stream. Just so I can have full energy for when Austin comes on. So, yeah, man, tomorrow it's going to start a little bit later, but it's going to be a really good fucking time. We'll probably go for at least 2 hours. I rarely go sub 2 hours with Austin. We'll see how it goes. Cause there's a lot in the Columbine shit to talk about. Driving across the state tomorrow, so I may miss out. I want to hear Columbine though. Well, I re-upload everything. You know what I mean? So you'll be able to watch it later on YouTube. You'll be able to listen to it on iTunes or Spotify later. So you'll be able to check everything out later. All right, guys. Thanks for hanging out. Again, if you guys could help a brother out, getting the channel a little bit of traction. If you guys are feeling nasty, please go to the YouTube, click on a video, hit the thumbs up, let it play. Just help the algorithm out. I know this is kind of embarrassing begging, but it would really help a brother out. Hit the live stream, hit the like button, do all the stuff. It really, really, really does help, and I appreciate you guys. And I will see you all tomorrow. Have a good one. Be about it. Peace.